Hello everyone, welcome back to the Solomon Chau channel. So we're done with the 13th, Saturday. Today's Sunday. Got work there, got work there, got work there, work there, spend my holiday. And yeah. So I went out last night and didn't come home till 2 a.m. So my mom's angry at me, just as I thought. She operates on a Chinese calendar, and you know, she's a dragon mom, so she cannot chill. Even at I'm 39 years old, I've seen this go up, this kind of behavior go up until the guy's even like 85 years old. And this is what will happen to you if you don't make enough money to have the option of leaving your home. Now I make 6 figures a year, and she's still doing this, checking up on me, being overly paranoid, uptight, high-strung personality. As I always describe people living in New Jersey, uptight and high-strung, uptight and high-strung. Why are they doing that? Uptight and high-strung. Why are you yelling? Uptight and high-strung, you know. Why are you people, you know, have to check everything? Uptight and high-strung. Why? They got laws, you know. Speaking of which, you know, I pretended I went to this my co-worker's actual party. I didn't do anything on my birthday, so an elderly man had a party, co-worker, and I went to his party. But yeah, it was just another party to me, and I met the staff there that work at my hospital, whatever. We had a normal person's time, and you know, whatever. We had food, and it was very normal, you know. It was a very normal, I won't name names or whatever, you know. It was a very normal party, you know, food, you know, just people from work invited, so these were people that they knew that were only welcome because people like people that they know, okay? That's always how it has been. And you know, if you invite someone that you don't know, then all this weird shit can go on, and you just don't want that. You know, people stealing or taking your stuff or acting weird, or you know, making plans to go back into your home and steal things or kill you or whatever. There's a % chance that could happen if you don't know the person. So most of us are from work, or you know, someone brought their sister or their brother or whatever, or they had to take care of them because they're too young, or like their kid, or they're handicapped, whatever they came to. So it was very normal, you know, party. But then afterwards, after 11, everyone started flocking away. Again, older man, people, you know, grandma needed to go to sleep. This grandma friend needed to go to sleep and work tomorrow. That's what they do. Even at the age of 60 plus, people still practice going to sleep earlier and waking up earlier to go to work. So don't bet on retiring early, even if you do have the money to retire, because that's what people do. That's how people are wired. That's how people want to be wired. They want to be sleeping early and waking up early in the morning to do their thing, like a farmer. And that's just your life cycle. That's the best you will feel, because people just want to be productive. They want to feel productive. You know, most normal people, average person just wants to be feeling productive. You know, I'm sure you felt what it's like not to be productive. That doesn't need to be discussed. You know, not accomplish anything and doing nothing doesn't need to be discussed if you've actually been doing nothing for a very long time and being a bum. That doesn't need to be discussed. Of course you're a bum. Of course everyone's naturally a bum. Like, how do you not be a bum? That's the challenge. It can also be challenging if you are overly productive and you're just trying to avoid burnout and try to take vacation, and then you should be a bum, you know. Or if you're a workaholic, then you should, you know, search videos on how to avoid burnout and taking vacations. Should you go on a cruise, or should you go to overseas, or should you remain chilling in your parents' basement playing World of Warcraft? I don't know. That's up to you. No one can decide for that for you but you. In which, you know, if you had two options, would you go travel and have to spend money up to $5,000, or of your own money, of your own hard work money, or your PTO time, paid time off, or whatever you have at work? Or would you just chill where you are? From experience, chilling where you are because it's free and you get to save money is a terrible idea. You know, the people around you just, you know, they're gonna make you feel like you've been in the same environment since forever. So that's not really a vacation. It's a staycation. It's not a vacation. There's something magical about changing your environment entirely. So the people you have to get away from, the environment you have to get away from, and I know it's hard, but you just gotta fucking do it. Or it just becomes toxic, you know. Why are people like this? I don't know. They just, you know, become toxic over time. And it's just like radiation. It's just, you know, radiation buildup. Just is. And you just need to know all the tricks of the trade. You know, why do women, Asian women, just become so bitter, you know, later in life? You know, my son is from Harvard. You're a degenerative woman trying to marry my son. You're trying to enter the Chan family, the Lee family. They always have this crazy, gawking grandma who's uptight, overly uptight, and overbearing, and high-strung, and gets triggered by everything. And, you know, she's 100% of the time Asian. And it's just like, this lady is not cool. She's not. She's very bitter. She's very toxic. Dragon mom. Okay? Tiger mom. Okay? Very bitter, you know. She has a laundry list of things, you know. She doesn't stop at your son being a lawyer or doctor. She just keeps going on until she gets dementia and ends up in the, you know, being taken care of, you know. And then she's gonna bitch at the nurse and the, you know, the aides and stuff. Why is she like that? I don't know. Does she have a chill? No, she doesn't. I've seen this. I'm in healthcare. I did radiology, mobile radiology. Just bitching, nagging, trying to, you know, finger everyone up to wazoo because she's such a mega bitch. A Karen. That's what having kids does to you. You go into mother mode, and you know, you just become, you know, your priority is being a Karen. Karen, you know. And then you ultimately become a senior Karen, and it's just like, and people around you are like, why is she still like that? Didn't you retire already? She's still gonna act very bitchy, very mean, and that's just how it is. And, you know, there's lots of elderly homes, adult homes, and whatever for these types, and it's just like, you just arthritis, osteoporosis. It's just like, what happened to this, you know? So whatever. I don't want to know. Maybe life in older age for a man is much easier. Now you don't have to worry about like child support payments. You don't have to worry about alimony support. You don't have to worry about all that shit. Anyways, so I went to the gentleman's club in New Jersey, Club 35, and they just reopened after a police investigation. So they made a payout of probably like at least $1 million, you know, to avoid jail time, all this jail time and all this paperwork and shit. But that's just how it works. And now as individuals, as the customer, they're super uptight, you know, all the time about touching, about bringing a cell phone in, about, you know, the services they offer and all this stuff, you know. Super uptight. Again, uptight and high strung. Uptight and high strung. You know, whenever there are girls, young girls around, uptight and high strung. So, you know, the thing is about, you know, you always have your ugly ass fat guy in there, or your ugly ass, you know, guy in the strip club. What else is he gonna do for girls? That's fine. What I'm trying to say is, you know, how do these women go about doing their job if the guy is ugly as hell? You know, why do women marry men in the first place? You know, other than resources, and that is a sense of security. That he makes her feel safe, you know, and hopefully she does feel safe, you know. But you know, for the guy to like the girl is much easier. He's always feels much safer because, you know, who else is gonna rape him except another guy, you know. But that doesn't happen too often. And I don't know. But what I do know is safety. You know, maybe she feels like meeting a new guy is like having a new, you know, prize, or a puzzle at least. I don't know, a prize. You know, if you had to do a fat chick or someone's grandma, would you get all excited? Hell no. So that's what her job probably feels like. But it works for her because she sees that grandma or fat chick that she's going to be doing as security, money security, or just physical security, as a prospect. So I guess that's how they go about their job and doing their thing. Anyways, you know, so I had my birthday dances and all that stuff. The thing is, you know, that's what men go there for, is to release. After I did it twice, every time you know, the male brain releases a hormone called prolactin. So I believe it's the hormone's prolactin. It's an inhibitor of any more dopamine and dopamine rush. So like a drug, the baseline of happiness stabilizes, and you just don't feel anything anymore. And, you know, after my second girl, you know, I was just like, I don't need to be here anymore. You know, the horniness, like, just like leveled out. You know, I didn't like, it was weird. It was like a demon left, and I was just free to be me and just observe. You know, before I was horny, and coming in I was like horny, like wanting to see a girl, and, you know, and get a dance and stuff. And then, you know, when I climaxed the second time, you know, even the first time, the horniness dwindled down, and I'm just like, I have one more in me, at least. And then after the second nut, you know, I was just like, I'm just back to being base. And the ROI, as Hamza described, I watched his videos, the ROI, it's not a great return on investment. Nutting is not a good return on investment. You know? Let that sink into you. Nutting is not a good return on investment. And now, it used to be $20 a lap dance. Now it's $30 a lap dance because of the COVID inflations and everything. And it's a lot harder for girls to get clients or another victim because COVID. Everyone's scared of germs and viruses and coughing and dying and shit. So, you know, your question may be, you know, is it cool hanging out at the strip club all the time? Probably not. Your baseline of happiness will just level out. Especially after you nut. Then you just get this kind of feeling like, huh, I need to go outside and get some fresh air. You know, you did your business and then you leave. It's, you know, can you be horny in the club all night? Maybe if that was your goal, to not nut and just like chill there somehow, and you know, resist the urge to nut. Yeah, you could just like chill there. If that's your goal. I need to go back home because my mom is a professional cock blocker, and that's it, you know. Of course, she had an episode when I came back at 2 o'clock in the morning, and why she had to, you know, stay awake and watch me come home. I don't know. I didn't program her. I didn't ask for this. She's like that. You know, why are women like this? I don't know. Even women. I'm not married. I'm not married. I never been married. I never even cared. I never cared about getting married. You would know if, you know, a guy was married. I never said I was married. So she's acting like some crazy married woman, and I'm the husband, and that she found out that I was going to the club at night. She was acting all crazy and shit. I'm not the husband. I'm the son. Why is she still acting like this? I don't know. Again, the mother mode thing after you have a baby, the uptight and high strung, uptight and high strung. You know, women can't turn it off. Neither can they turn off, like, if a man like makes her feel secure in, you know, or not, you know. And the guy is the victim in this case because he doesn't give a shit. You know, he's playing video games, he's watching porno, and somehow he becomes the victim. He gets latched on by a woman that he's her rock now. He's in a tight bind relationship now with this bitch that he doesn't even want to be intimate with. Like, and that happens with guys. Like, it wasn't clearly communicated that, you know, this guy is your rock. It's like, what? Like, only when, like, shit hits the ceiling fan. Why is it like this? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, it's annoying. It's annoying and usually ends up in things like divorce and the woman going crazy and, you know, she can't chill. And so men leave it at the club, you know. You can't have your wife around, you can't have your girlfriend around because they get too emotional about their man. That's what it is. You know, how were the girls at the club? there were a lot of them. And when there's a lot of them, that's good. Now you have a choice, you know. Now you have a choice, and you know every guy that comes in has a choice. They don't have to fight for like one or two girls because of scarcity mindset that you're not gonna get a girl. Every guy can go in and get a girl at some. If you stay there like up to an hour, you can get a girl. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. If you go to school and try to get a girl, it is a problem. You have to fight for it. You have to. There's competition between, you know, the athletes and the geeks and the nerds and, you know, whoever. And for a cheerleader, for whoever, like, who's desirable to you, or if you're like on the lower end, you know, you can't get anyone. There's also always competition. And they're always very bratty. You know, they're always bratty. Oh, I have a boyfriend, you know. Oh, I have somebody, you know. Oh, I'm working on my career. You know, it's just, you know, it's very difficult unless you're Chad or Tyrone, and somehow they just naturally gravitate towards you, which is great. But for most guys, it's probably the same story. Oh, I have a boyfriend. Yeah, I'm working on my career. Yeah, I'm only into, you know, Chads and Tyrones. Oh, that's sweet, but I have a boyfriend. Yeah. And but here at the club, you know, you pay the fees, whatever. You know, it's available. You know, it's unheard of. You know, girls being available at the club. You can find that. It's not a problem. Not a problem at all. Minimum effort. Minimum effort. And, you know, a lot of girls look like they're from Brazilian. You know, they have very nice bodies, large breasts and butt, and, you know, fabulous hair, cute face, and pink nipples, brown nipples, whatever you're into. They have girls there, skinny, fat. There were dancing girls, and there were girls chilling in the back, and then there were the 40-plus-year-old like pigs with lipstick on and just like, ugh. Ugh. You know, I guess there's someone for somebody out there somewhere. And, you know, after nutting the second time, after my second nut, as Hamza would describe it, I was just like, man, my brain really feels like a baseline of happiness. I should be working. I should be a productive member of society, you know. If I stay any longer here, I'll just feel like a degenerate. That's exactly how I felt. Like I need to go behind a computer and start doing all this weird office work, doing all this boring office work, or sleeping. Sleeping is also a productive task or habit, if you will, and recharging your body in the name of productivity. It's only a bad activity if you're overdoing it or if you're being homeless. So that's my story. 2 nuts later, you know, I went to the club, Gentlemen's Club 35. 2 nuts later, you know, my baseline of happiness leveled out. I felt fulfilled. The girl I danced with, the first one was a blonde. She looked Caucasian, so I went with her, and topless and everything, and found out she was actually Cuban, so -1. Apparently they have Cuban blondes now who look Caucasian. She was Caucasian looking enough. The second one was Italian, so I'm just like, oh, do her. And so we did it. And you know, that's all I wanted, an Italian girl. She's white, she's Eastern European, and that was it, you know. There was no relationship. It was just purely the dancing part that I wanted out of her. And the show. I wanted her show. She was there in the environment for the showing, and that was it. You know, anything else outside the club could spell trouble, because New Jersey, uptight and high strung. Uptight and high strung. Where would we stay? An apartment for 2 people would cost an average of $3,000. So off the bat, you have financial issues and problems that you have to face. The fact that I would be Chinese and she would be Italian. We have an interracial couple. So if I met my Chinese family and she met my Chinese family, then they would be calling her Guaylo. And if I met her as a Chinese guy meeting her Italian family, I don't know how racist their family is, but I would at some point be referred to as Ching Chong boyfriend or whatever, and her Ching Chong boyfriend. And that would just, you know, upset and annoy the both of us, unless she thought it was absolutely funny or something. Again, it would still be a low blow to me being referred to as Ching Chong all the time. Or something derogatory. Which always ends up happening. And then everyone has the question, why don't you marry another Italian to her? Or for me, why don't you marry within your own race? Etc., etc. There are a lot of interracial couples these days. There are also bisexual couples, and homosexual couples, and whatnot. And, you know, just high-strung and uptight. High-strung and uptight. High-strung, uptight, high-strung. You know, it's just like you need to get away from a lot of external sources, or you're going to face a lot of other people outside your comfort zone who are high-strung and uptight and racist, you know, just derogatory, you know, words, degenerative behavior. So after you get the scumbag out of you, you know, after you nut, and here we are. You know, I went home, slept, my mom got mad at me, and now I'm here. You know, what are some of my things to do? You know, maintain my job, make money, you know, anywhere I can. It's Sunday. Do people normally work on Sunday? No, and no. You know, if I were to just pick up every Sunday in a second job or drive for Uber just because I have access to, you know, my car easily, and, you know, I can work at any given time or moment, you know, would I be doing that? You know, I gotta look around, you know, investigate human history, and all that spells is trouble. Burnout, high burnout rate. Okay, when you're overworked and you haven't been chilling and relaxing and having your me time, then you just start making mistakes at work. You can, you know, bring in a bad attitude to work. Your co-workers will first feel it. Your patients may feel it, or if you're a teacher, your students, or your salesman, your cold call clients, or whoever. Stuff like that. So you have to take your downtime, your off time. Bill Gates is like forces himself to take vacations on the beach and bringing books with him. Like everyone does it. Like you have to have your downtime. You can't just say, oh, I'm gonna go back to work because I feel this scumbag, like, degenerative lifestyle creeping up on me. No, everyone needs their downtime. And that was it, you know, that's all I wanted. And I'm just like, why can't I just go to the club or have a girl around and that's it? It's because uptight and high strung. Uptight and high strung. Monday mornings to Fridays or whatever, it's probably work schedule. You know, Saturdays and Sundays, people go crazy. And there's cops everywhere. There were multiple accidents. 2 accidents. One, the first, like I was like, kind of like, my mom was worried about me. Don't go driving at night. I'm like, what is this, the Amish country? So there was actually 2 accidents. One, the car completely flipped over. There were like at least 10 like cops and cop cars and an ambulance here and there. The second one was, one car spun out and there were 2 other cars and passengers that had to get out, and the car was just one of the cars was just like spun out, still just parked like dead, laying flat in the highway pass, and cars, we had to drive, you know, through it. You know, it was crazy. 2 crazy incidences. You know, everyone must be very happy to get to this club at night. Maybe they're doing the same thing as me, trying to avoid their parents. You know, Indians, Chinese, Hispanics, all have this like crazy mom at home or grandma at home that they're trying to avoid. You know, why people only come out at night is because they probably have families to take care of. Why cell phones aren't allowed. Again, you know, no one. There's always going to be that crazy family member who's uptight and super uptight and high strung, and you know, the more degenerative family members are going to the clubs and stuff, and you know, no one can be, his face or body could it be exposed, or it'll trigger the grandma, it'll trigger the mom, and it's always the grandma. There's always this like crazy like grandma, like Italian grandma, Polish grandma, like Dominican Republic grandma, like Cuban grandma, like it's almost like super uptight, high strung, you know, like everyone loves their mom and their grandma, but they don't have a chill. They don't have like grandma chill. Like she doesn't have a chill. She finds out that you've been with other women, she goes crazy. She finds out you've been with the girl who's from another race, she goes crazy. And it's just like, do you ever just not act so like emotionally responsive like a robot? Like, but that's what people do. Just like men always chase after money or power or whatever, or the next best technology, car or whatever, computer graphics. Girls, they're always chasing after, you know, guys with girlfriends. They always need drama. They always need to know, you know, the guy and how to stick their finger up their ass and, you know, check on who's their girlfriend. Is she this race or that race? You know, who's his kid? Who's her kid? You know, are they getting, like, why? Yo, why are you so into everyone? And that's just how they are. Drama, 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 drama. Is that necessarily a bad thing? They do become someone's grandma. They do take care of you as a baby. They do that job. That's their business. But after you're like 40 years old and she's still doing that shit, that means that, you know, she's not gonna stop, you know? And you're just like, for real? Yeah, she's that annoying, you know? That's what she does. So you're just like, huh? Yeah, that's what she does. You didn't give two fucks 10, 20, 30 years ago. Or you may not even given a fuck to begin with, you know? It's just shit, you know? And they can't turn it off. High strung and uptight. And worries about you. The guy's like, I really don't give a shit. And he doesn't. And here he is, going to clubs, meeting different girlfriends, spreading his seed. And the girl's like, I saw him with another girl, talking to other girls. I am so jealous. And that's how it is. And somehow your like degenerative behavior controls her, and you're just trying to have a good time. So what does Solomon Chau have to do to just, you know, get away from everyone? He needs to make more money, of course, and that's it. That's it, you know. And when that's the only thing on your mind, to get away from your mom, like, isn't that a horrible thought? I posted that online one day, and someone recognized that if your only thought is to get away from your parents, you know, to make enough money to get away from your parents, like that's really like toxic. Like, I never thought about it. And it's like, this should not even be a discussion for your mom. You're like, her kids are going to go see her as a priority and not his girlfriend. So again, as a guy, you have another expectation that's hurled on you. You know, you're supposed to make your mom a priority, not finding a girlfriend, not your girlfriend. And you're just like, huh? Like, who the hell cares? And you're just like, what? Am I supposed to learn this before you die or after you die? And she's just gonna go screaming at you, and it's just like, I'm confused. You had a stroke, 5 heart attacks, you know, all osteoporosis, arthritis, and you're still acting up like this? Like, you're still overly bearing, you're still uptight, you're still high strung over me and not yourself in your health issues and yourself getting old. That's what they do. Again, with the mother mode thing, something men probably would never understand, and they're not equipped with understanding. They don't have the empathy for it, you know. So, within myself, you know, do I want a family? And my mom being the grandmother of my child? No, I don't, you know. No, I'm a terrible person. Even people say, oh, you're such a nice guy, Solomon. Oh, you're so sweet. Upon their first encounter, in comparison to most guys, there are things I lack. You know, most guys are like stupidly violent. You know, if I was a girl, most guys are probably stupidly violent, and they kill each other unnecessarily for sport or competition or whatever. and because of that, they probably make a lot more money and whatever. And you know, but that's what you gotta do. Be like to be Chad or Tyrone. As for me, I'm also terrible too. As the nice guy, I fit probably in the more of the nice guy paradigm. You wouldn't want to be me either, you know. I don't even want a family. Like I don't care. I'm not at that stage. I'm still just single guy trying to get away from his parents. Like, I'm 20 years old. And truthfully, you know, I don't want to, you know, my mom being this Chinese grandma for my kid. I told you, like, she's going to be overbearing, you know, high-strung, high-strung, and uptight. She's not, like, cool. She's not, like, white. There's no, like, future. There's no other future. Like, you could literally just go to China and find the same thing. Like, everyone's just so, like, dictated by, you know, a set of rules. The obedience level is much higher there. You can call it Confucius, because of Confucianism, whatever. But, you know, fidelity, you know, the government, your family, the government, you know, comes first, and you're just basically following them, their orders, like a fucking robot, you know, to stay out of trouble. You know, do you have your own sense of individuality? Much, much less so. You know, everything's blocked, you know, for the sake that things run smoothly, and, you know, the downside of it is there's a lack of diversity. So once you hit China, you know, everyone's Chinese. You know, maybe you'll see like a white person or two, like a passport bro, and you'll be like, oh, but mostly every day is like China person, Chinaman. Same thing with India, you know, Indian. You know, how much of this shit can you take? I don't know. I've never been like that. You know, it's just too boring. If everyone was blonde hair and blue eyes, you know, the baseline of happiness of Hitler's regime would just get boring. If everyone was Chinese, it would just be boring. If everyone was Indian, it would just be boring. The universe can't have that, you know. If everyone was a man, you know, everyone would be gay or a girl. It would just be boring. I don't know. The baseline of happiness would be easily reached, and you would just be bored. So, any other life lessons? I don't have a sense of urgency to get a woman pregnant and have children. I know women have that sense of urgency because she only has 400. She's born with only 400 eggs, and she has a period. And when those 400 eggs are gone, there's no more baby. So she needs to reproduce or, you know, expire ultimately. All her eggs are going to expire. Meanwhile, the guy's chilling there, like, oh, and playing with his wiener and nutting all over, spreading his seed all over the place. And so you just have babies born, conceived in the backseat of a Camaro because you don't know when it's going to happen. It's just, you know, it's just going to happen. Everyone, That's the problem with intelligent people, with rich people. They have much less kids. Everything is a calculated risk, you know. And because of that, they don't want to have all these kids. It's a problem to them. Meanwhile, the poor, they're like, oh yeah, let's collect more child tax credit. They're just more chill about it because someone else is going to take care of them. The government's money, taxpayers, is going to take care of them. In my own case, I probably lean towards the more intelligent, rich people approach. These children are probably a burden to my wallet, and I'd rather spend that money on myself and not have to worry about this like child care shit and watching them grow up and shit. And at the age of 40, hey Solomon, where's your kid? Where's your girlfriend? Where's your wife? I never had to spend time in my kids' grade school, in preschool, at a nursery. I never had to do any of that shit. So doesn't that mean I have had ample amounts of time to do whatever? So Solomon, what have you been doing with your time? The time that you were supposed to spend raising a child. I've been sleeping 8+ hours a day. I play video games whenever I want. I get to invest my money in whatever I want. I get to have a lot of cash flow, cash in my pocket. I get to run from awkward social situations. I get to exercise. There's no kid around. Typhus isn't gonna come after me. The police aren't gonna come after me if they get into a fight at school or whatever. That's what Solomon's been doing, just running away from social situations that he doesn't want to be in. And nor does he need it. Solomon Chau can die the next day and be like, so? Like another generation of poor Solomon Chau. He wasn't smart enough to get into anything cool and exciting like Microsoft or IBM or Google or Apple or something like that. He doesn't want to make sales calls and cold calls and all this like cringe shit that you gotta do for money. He doesn't want to like partner up in business people and be social. New Jersey gets real fucking cold in the winter, and that's just real uncomfortable. Solomon Chau doesn't like drinking and smoking all the time, which is a stepping stone to being social. The little kid the Korean kid down my street told me like he doesn't want to be as extroverted as he is. He has to do drugs, smoke weed with people and drink with people to be more social. And he has to do it just to be more social. I actually saw something in a Japan documentary of the salary man. That's what they have to do. Like the boss invites you for drinks and you have to say yes. And that's it. Again, I was never intelligent enough to be a computer programmer or a doctor or any of that stuff. Higher level stuff. You have technicians and then you have doctors and engineers and stuff. I was probably one tier below. As for the next generation of Solomon Chau, they need to hit that mark of being a doctor or a lawyer. But I in today's time, I wouldn't want to put that on anyone's shoulder. It's a lot of work. It's very emotionally demanding and taxing. Mentally and physically. If you can do it, great, but it takes a lot. 4 years of school, 8 years of school, 12 years of school. Like, it's not just about the money. You actually have to live through it, and it's a lot. And going to school is in comparison to going to war. I mean, you need a score to produce a good test score for the SATs and the MCATs and whatever. So it's not nice. It's not nice, you know. If I randomly have a kid, okay, I'll take care of the kid. But you know, if it doesn't happen, I'm not gonna force it to happen. You know, I had a horrible time, you know, pretending to be super Asian at school with the SATs and the biology, AP biology and physics and English and all this stuff, and you know, the classes just kept going. And you know, even if you pursue your engineering degree, it's boring, it's dry. It's just gonna be like, if you're not into it, you know, you can't sustain it very long, because it sucks. I have two other brothers. One is an engineer for the army, computer engineer, designs military weapons and stuff. So he went through engineering school, and he's fine. But he also does a lot of work. He also pursues a lot of hard things. He also had this like natural aptitude to be doing hard things, which I didn't have. That's why I know all about the leisure lifestyle, degeneracy and stuff. Then my older brother also pursued a difficult path of financial stuff, Wall Street stuff, accounting and stuff for PricewaterhouseCoopers. So that's what you gotta do as a guy. Unless my child was born a girl and just had this like crazy like aptitude, Chinese like crazy Asian aptitude, natural aptitude, which you would have to get from her mom, because I don't fucking have it. And you know, she's the Mulan of Princeton University and a doctor somehow. Like, I don't know. My cousin actually in Brooklyn became a doctor, physical therapist. But she wasn't that well off. So this like super Asian gene doesn't stem from me or any other part of my family whatsoever. You know, or I don't know, maybe the dragon mom or the tiger mom was right in beating the shit out of her child and forcing him to read it and write at the age of 3 months. I don't know. And even being a computer programmer or coder or anything like that isn't even guaranteed a position in Google, as they are currently working on AI and firing multitudes of employees. So the kid would naturally have to be some kind of medical doctor, which there would be blood and shit, and again, that is difficult. You know, all these things are difficult. My brother, military, they design weapons to fucking kill people. You know, they're currently using the technology in the Iron Dome in Israel and whatnot, and to kill, you know, fend off the Russians from Ukraine. Drones and stuff. You know, the other one does finance, does accounting, forensics accounting, and it's accountable for all large companies. You know, taxes and stuff. You know, this serious shit. You know, you need your CPA, your certificates, your engineering degrees. All this shit is very pricey and expensive. So it's a lot, you know. So I'm looking back at other Asian Americans. We have this one friend in Chinatown. She lived her life. She was very geeky, Chinese girl, and she worked for the government as a chemist, and she made tons of money. When she died, it went all to the government. Another one is currently a CPA. Again, very geeky. She became a math wizard, and she has all this money, and she's working on being single and old, and there's one down the street from me who lives in a nice townhome. She's a Indian pharmacist. Again, heading the same path. She's single, geeky, old. Her boyfriend is this like graveyard, nasty looking, like old man graveyard, creepy vibes, graveyard digger. Anyways, she's heading it like the guy's just god awful, traumatized from childhood. He's just fucking terrible. It's like someone threw him under the bus. I just don't want to talk about him anymore because it was just like so traumatic meeting him. She heading down the same path. Single, probably will drop dead one day from old age, or heart attack, or stroke, and no one's gonna be around to get her to the hospital or whatever. She may fall down and collapse like multitudes of times until she actually dies, bleeds out and dies, or whatever. The point is, she'll have the same fate as a Chinese chemist working for the government. She just got older, in their late 60s. They died one day, and all the money she made went to the government. So why is everyone so high-strung and uptight? I don't know. Whether you're a mother or whether you had children, like my mom, you become high-strung and uptight. If you didn't have children, you'd be like the Chinese chemist that just dropped dead, died, and had all the money siphoned off to the government. In either the case, you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. Either you have the genetics to do something, or you don't. And I clearly don't, I don't have a lot of the genetics to be like anything cool, like a basketball player, or work at Google or something, or be a NASCAR race driver, or even be a sim racer for Gran Turismo or something. You either have the genetics for it or you fucking don't. Even if these opportunities were there, I could be an airplane pilot or something. I didn't make the cut. Shit. Even if I could be a pilot, there would always be something, a hurdle. Oh, it cost a minimum of $100,000 to get your pilot license. That's why I didn't fucking get my pilot's license. There's always something. So there's always some kind of weird challenge. And, X, Y, and Z. Overcome adversity, diversity, all this other crazy shit. So, in my own experience, just, I work in the radiography department. I'm making decent money, and that's all I can do for this life because that's all I have. All I have left in me. I'm not gonna be pursuing any crazy dream. That's all I got left. I'm already approaching my 40s. That's all I got left. Again, the only thing I would otherwise have done is work for Google or some Apple company, which, I probably couldn't even pass the fucking interview because those people were just a fuck ton smarter than me. More intelligent. X, Y, and Z. Just off the bat, like, Indians, like, children learn coding at the age of 4 and just like shit. Like the P in PhD is actually stands for Patel. I mean it's just mind blowing, and then you got like these Indian kids winning spelling bees and shit. It's crazy. We're not just talking about getting straight A's and stuff. We're talking about like competing in national contests and stuff. That's how good you had to be to participate in a company like Google or Apple or LinkedIn or Facebook as an engineer, as a computer engineer. So if I wasn't living my life as a doctor, an engineer, a lawyer, someone with power and status, then I would just humbly do my, whatever job, and my whatever job is radiographer. So I have to stick with that. So I can bitch and complain all I want, but that's how I rake in the money. And everyone's just gonna be selling you things on YouTube and say, oh, you can make all this money, I'll give you the world on a silver platter. It's a scam. And you think you could do all these crazy things and sell things to people, cold call to people, write all these newsletters to people. And no, if you're not doing that already, then you're kind of fucked. I believe I'm even like older, 10 years older than Ryan Holiday, who does meditations, Marcus Aurelius and all that stuff. And I'm 10 years older than him, and his mind is much more advanced and mature than any of us. He's an author, he's a book writer. He owns his own shop, he owns his own apartment. He's escaped his parents. He's much more mentally healthy on a whole than a lot of people. And I never had the genetics to be like Ryan Holiday. I don't live with my parents. Like, I still live with my parents. I'm cheap, I'm stingy, I suffer from like scarcity mindset. I never really had the courage to write my own book and publish it and own my own, be responsible for my own store. Maybe Ryan Holiday had to take out a loan, to do all this stuff and fail a couple of times. I don't know. I never had the balls to be doing that stuff, in real time, and have to collaborate with people and move to New Orleans and start a new life, And even then, he's still like networking with like top dogs, like even Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's continually podcasting with other YouTubers, with like celebrities and stuff. Like, do I have the balls to be doing that? Like, even if my books, my shitty like books and stuff and copyright book, and like Meet Kevin or Graham Stephan told me to come down or whatever to do a podcast with him, would I do it? Probably not. I would probably be bitching about how I have to work my job as a radiographer and how I need to sleep, and like so it's completely off. And would those be? Is that exactly what I would do if Meet Kevin or Graham Stephan or whoever told me to come down to their show or to their podcast and talk to them live? Probably, yeah. So that tells me like I don't even have the balls to be networking with anyone else popular out there. To be able to collaborate with someone out there. I wish I did. One newsletter reached out to me for my vlog and like, oh, your story is so sad and shit, I want to reach out to you. I'm like, nah, it's like I don't see where this is going. I also don't want to talk about it. And there's probably like 1 million other people there working at a Walgreens or whatever, or a McDonald's, and it's just like, are you famous yet? Are you successful yet? It's like, no one gives a shit unless you're a millionaire or something. Or no one gives a shit until you've made it. Yeah. So, I have a lot to work on, on myself, That's how it is. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe and like my channel for the YouTube algorithm. Or if you like looking at this face for whatever reason, Solomon Chau. I'm a YouTuber. I got 10 views. I got 1 subscriber. Hey, you're the first ones looking at my content. There's another thing. Everyone like bashes on, laughs at the person like a young Steve Jobs or a young, young Einstein. No one believes him. Or that guy from Gran Turismo, the black guy who won the Gran Turismo as a sim racer. No one believes in the person until they actually fucking do it. And then they become famous, and then not everyone wants to know them. So keep that in mind. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. This has been Chau. Peace out.